SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Join us in Greenwood on Saturday, September 19th for the 46th annual 300 Oaks Road Race. Choose from 10K, 5K run, 5K walk, or Kids Fun Run. Register now at 300oaks.com. Paid for by the Greenwood Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome in, everybody. Did you know that, it's football season, or at least it's about to be? Training camps have ended. Most everybody in college football is into game week mode, even though, for Ole Miss, it's 10 days away. Most schools, it's 9. You've got, of course, a handful that are playing coming up on Saturday. Week 0 slate looking really good. I watched a little bit of Furman and Anderson tonight. Don't love the way the Paladins offense looked against D2 Anderson University, but they're going to win comfortably, and so that's good. But the college football news cycle has been dominated by crap, considering how close we are to real, actual football. 10 days now, that is it. By the time the overwhelming majority of you guys are listening to this, we'll be in single digits away from Ole Miss, Louisville, and what a super compelling week 1 matchup that is. As you guys know, it is the only ranked matchup of week 1. That is still pretty crazy. It's the only ranked matchup of week 1. But we'll talk about that tonight. I am sure you guys are going to bring up stuff that's going on because, apparently we think it's a good idea to threaten the commissioner of the SEC with holding him in contempt of court. That is what we're doing now, and that is the genius idea. That's the galaxy brain idea that is going to work for sure to get this done and to get the league to back down and let you play former professional football players. It's holding the commissioner in contempt of court. That is going to work for sure, especially when these get out of the local courts and get into federal courts that are not in the state of Louisiana or just not local, that get up into the more federal level. Because as you guys may have figured out, these things don't have to stay down here forever. Some judge in Baton Rouge doesn't control the world. It will go up the ladder, and I'm sure holding the commissioner in contempt of court will be viewed well, hypothetically in the Northern District of Alabama. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I think that strategy is a bold one. I admire the people around these players that are giving them advice, such as the advice that they've gotten, with how bold they are. But call me crazy, threatening to hold the commissioner of the SEC in contempt of court is not going to inspire them to back down. So crazy timeline we're living in. But I'm glad that you guys are here. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. My name, of course, I think I said it, I may not have, is Michael Borky. I'm glad that you're here. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Just search the name, search Rebel Report, and subscribe. And if you like what you hear, leave a rating and a review. That's where I want you to be, by the way. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe to the podcast. That is where you can help me the most, is if you're subscribing on the podcast feed. I would really appreciate you doing that. And, of course, here on YouTube as well, double subscribe. That won't hurt anything, will it? I mean, it's free, so it's not like it's going to cost you anything, but I would appreciate that as well. This edition of the show is presented by Scruggs Farm, Lawn, and Garden in Saltillo, Mississippi. Excited. Just found out we're going to be there for the radio show in October, and I can't wait because I will leave with something. I always do. They've got everything you need. Just outside of Tupelo, by the way. If you're not familiar with where Saltillo is, just outside of Tupelo. If you type in Scruggs Tupelo, it will take you there. I found out on the GPS. But they've got everything you need. Home improvement projects, they've got it all. Appliances, clothes, boots, for the kids and more, the cheapest beer in town, but most importantly, the John Deere, America's tractor, America's lawnmower, 0% on zero-turn mowers, 0% on the 5 Series tractors, the compact tractors, the commercial mowers, and just 1.9% on a Gator. They've got you covered for all of your in-home, out-home, property, hunting land, farm projects. They have got you covered. And they're good people there at Scruggs, so tell them that I sent you. Yeah, here we are, 10 days away from the start of the season, and this right here, going to the Louisville game, cannot get here fast enough, ready to watch some ball. And, I mean, I am planning on making the trip up, although things change quickly in that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I think it might be just more economical for me to use use my money elsewhere and skip that trip and just watch like the rest of you guys instead of sitting up in some press box in Nashville and just going live immediately after from the house, as opposed to, we'll see on that. I've thought about going, but we're already, with the radio show and everything, we're traveling so much this year. And I mean, for week 3, we're doing 2 shows in Oxford on Thursday and on Friday. And then obviously we'll have to be at the game on Saturday. And there's just a lot of moving parts here. And, trying to figure things out logistically, like in my personal life. And it's just a lot. So I don't think I'm making the trip, but if I do, I'll let you know. But I'm excited about the game. And I'll have a guest on that covers Louisville next week on the radio show. I'll, of course, put that in this feed for you guys as well. But it's a super compelling matchup. And what a great test this is, and what a great opportunity this is for Ole Miss and for Pete Golding to kind of prove to the country that they have not missed a beat. I mean, of course, all of the focus and eyes and attention are going to be on week 3, but they do play 2 games ahead of that, and it would be a statement made to the country, to the fan base, even to Keith Carter, affirming a decision to go out there and play well. It'll be validation in all the things early on anyway. Of course, things change week to week in college football, but it would be a message sent to the rest of the country if Ole Miss is able to play well and win that game, that they're not going anywhere despite the coaching change and all of the things that came with that. Has anything happened in camp, though, that nobody's been able to see? Although you can talk to people around the program and stuff and try to gauge information, but has anything happened that has changed your mind about this team and its prospects? For me, not really. The only thing that I'm really trying to caution myself from doing, because there's so much talk about how good this defense possibly can be, and especially the depth is so important. They didn't have depth on last year's defense. They had starters that were quality, and then if somebody got hurt, they didn't have adequate depth, or they were asking guys to play a lot of snaps that they should not have played. I mean, Xavier Harris would have been a great defensive tackle at 30 snaps per game, not 70. You know what I mean? So they didn't have the adequate depth in order to rotate and be effective the way that people think that this year's defense can be. I see a lot of comparisons to 2024, and I mean, that was the first or second best defense in college football, depending on how you want to measure that statistic. They were elite and dominant on a weekly basis, especially in this era where offense is just given so much more. So I'm trying to prevent myself from talking about this defense in that context, because I think it at times it can be irresponsible to compare something new to the greatest thing we've seen recently. And you can argue, I mean, 2014 is in that discussion as well, but you can argue the 2024 defense is the best one that Ole Miss has fielded in modern history. When you compared, the era, right? That's part of it. I know that there have been defenses, decades before I showed up here in Mississippi that have had these absurd numbers. But when you consider like the way the game is played now and how dominant they were and how they got after the quarterback and TFLs and those kind of things. It was an elite group. And this one, though, can be that good. I think this one can be that good. They have a chance to be better, in particular at linebacker. I don't know if Will Eccles is quite Walter Nolan, but I think it gets to a point where they can be comparable for sure. That, if anything, that I've taken away from training camp is that they got out of it relatively healthy. Pete Golding alluded to it. There's been some concerns about health on the offensive line, but I don't think any of it is missing the first game type stuff. Maybe it is, but I don't think any of it is. So we'll see. But so that's something. I don't know how much we learned about John David Baker's offense, considering nobody got to actually watch it. But I do think the more you hear about the defense, the more you talk to people that have actually been around and seen it, they have legitimate playable depth at all three levels of this defense, and they simply did not have that last year. Another higher quality safety, another linebacker, and another defensive tackle, and Ole Miss is probably playing for a national championship last season. And it sounds like they've been able to accomplish that in roster building. We'll see. So that's not much. I wish I had more for you. You know, there were no real, like, legitimate practice viewing periods. That is by design. There's no way to really know until they actually play somebody. So I'm trying to be cautious. I don't want to overhype without having seen it myself. I think that can be a little reckless. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what John David Baker's offense is going to look like. I think I have an idea. I don't know if this defense is going to be as good as 2024's. I haven't seen it yet. But I do think that in terms of playable depth, they've got more of it this time around. So if we learn anything from camp, that would be it. But they have to go out and do it. And what a great opportunity that they're going to have against Louisville to do that. 10 days away. That's it. Just 10 days away. And what a test, what a challenge. And I'm excited to watch it and see what Pete Golding and his program is made of, because I've been saying all offseason, this is a real test in Louisville. And for some reason, some of our radio audience is getting mad, not getting mad, but especially the Facebook commenters about what I've said about the Louisville game, that, look, if Ole Miss doesn't play well, they can get beat because it's a team with talent, high-level running back. They're really solid. Really across the board, they're well coached, got a talented, very inexperienced, but talented quarterback that was in the system at Ohio State for a reason. It's a real challenge and a really tough game, and Ole Miss better show up and play, and I think they will. I mean, they're certainly going to be focused in all of that, but if they don't play well, they have a legitimate chance at losing. And that upset especially our Facebook commenters, but here's what I would say to you. It's like you're preemptively doing the overrated chant. That's something I've never understood. Okay, we're back. I've never understood the overrated chant because what you're saying is effectively, our win isn't good. Like, don't you want to beat good teams? I've been hyping up Louisville this offseason because they're legitimately good. And if Ole Miss goes up to Nashville and beats them and plays well, my reaction on Sunday night is going to be, that's a really impressive win. And that speaks a lot about what Ole Miss is. But I guess these people want me to tell you that Louisville sucks and it doesn't matter and who cares. And if Ole Miss wins, then, well, it's not impressive because I spent the offseason telling you they suck. It makes no sense to me. But they're legitimately good. They will be solid. They will be well coached. And a lot of you will be there. I don't know if I will or not. We'll see. Podcast is brought to you in part by Logan Smith Shelter Insurance, 601-823-3500 for auto, home, life, or business insurance, 601-823, reset, rewind, 601-823-3500. Auto, home, life, or business insurance, he's got you covered there. Also, Priority One Bank, they make you their priority every day. Online banking outstanding, local loan servicing and decision-making, 16 locations here in Mississippi, so there's likely to be one near you. Check them out, Priority One Bank. I'm all over the place, guys. Goodness gracious. I need to go to bed. Priority One Bank, they make you their priority every single day. Screw a court case. I'm ready for ball. Well, Connor, guess what? You're going to get more court cases, buddy. They're just going to keep happening, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon because we think that oh my gosh, sorry. I'm pausing here because there's a clip being shared from SiriusXM about how LSU is being – Lane Kiffin did an interview with Mad Dog Sports Radio talking about how it is unfair. Jeez. You know what? Go all in. Season's a week away. Go all in. Distract as many people as possible. That surely will work. Crazy town we live in. LSU plans to return another player from the NFL if he's not rostered by September 1st. Yeah, I saw that. And I also saw, and this just tells you, frankly, I don't like, especially on the radio show, a much bigger platform. I don't like specifically talking about other people in media because it's a hard business. People work really hard, and I certainly not only make mistakes, but I put out bad content unintentionally at times, and we're all just trying to make it. But when I see On 3 do breaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers edge Jack Pyburn will return to LSU if he's not rostered on an NFL roster by September 1st. And then Pete Nakos quotes it and says, Jack Pyburn's full focus remains on making an NFL roster. It's like, come on, man. Are you just copy and pasting what the agent told you to say? How I mean, that's just gaslighting is what that is. His full focus is on making the bucks. That's his full focus. But yet not only has he engaged in a court case and gotten himself involved in that, but he also knows if he gets cut, he's coming back to school and where he's going, and all that's figured out and decided and done, but he's fully focused on making the bucks. Come on. I mean, it's just eye roll stuff like that where in the NFL, scoops guys do it a lot more, but you see it in college also that these guys that are that are in the scoops business, just you can tell when it's just copied and pasted. Here's what the agent told me to say, and I'm just going to say it. Obviously, his full focus cannot be on making the bucks if he is already planning. And it's a joke. It's just eye roll stuff is what it is. Just eye roll stuff. That's what it's been like for the last 4 days. Just everything just makes you roll your eyes. A lawyer threatening to hold the commissioner of the SEC in contempt of court because his client, a former professional football player, is not allowed to play in the SEC by league rules adopted by every president and chancellor in the league. And even LSU did not vote no. So that's just eye roll stuff. And there is somehow a thought here that a local court order is just the end. Local judge that's over, that there is no next thing that the SEC can do. like they're done because some judge in Texas said this, that it's over, that people actually think that. I mean, I'm not a civics expert, but there are higher courts in the United States of America, and one of them, up in Washington, D.C., is called the Supreme Court. Like, do they have to also follow what a judge out of Baton Rouge says about something? Of course not. Like, there is always another option. Well, Greg Sankey's going to be held in contempt. He's going to go to jail. This thing's over. Like, people actually believe that. Now, I guess in theory, the SEC could give up, but do you honestly think that the rest of the league now are going to sit back and watch, even though it's the players and not LSU who's encouraging the players? Are going to sit back and watch the commissioner get threatened that way and just be like, you know what, Greg, got to let him have it. I just got to let him have this one. They got you, man. You're going to go to jail. They got you. Of course not. It's just silly. This whole thing is silly. All of it. Just eye roll. This close to the season as well. How new is Louisville's quarterback? He's very new. Luke Keinholz, if I'm spelling his name correctly. I will give you his Lincoln, not Luke, Lincoln Keinholz. Sorry, my bad. Last year he threw for 139 yards and 1 touchdown. He is a junior. And let's see here. He's from Pierre, South Dakota, by the way. He played a little bit in 2023 and 2025. He has completed 58% of his passes for 250 yards and a touchdown. 21 of 36. I also think he can run a little bit. He's a pretty good athlete. I mean, again, you don't get recruited to play quarterback out of anywhere if you can't play. I mean, he's super talented. He's just been behind who he's been behind, right? So good athlete, talented, just doesn't have much experience. And, I wouldn't love that my first start is going up against possibly that defense, but he can play, and he's going to be well coached, and the scheme's going to be good. Did you see Kai Meek won the Gulf States Open at Starkville Country Club this past weekend? I did see that. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't watch, but Malloy's program, he said when we were in Oxford for the Not Fall Camp Tour, he joined us live, which was great. He's awesome. You guys, I know golf is not on the front of mind right now, but you've got one heck of a coach leading your golf program. A great ambassador for the school, but also running a great program. You're finally starting to see the fruits of his effort, because it takes a while in golf. You don't just, finish your senior year and then boom, you're on the PGA Tour like a guy that gets drafted in the NFL. It doesn't work the same. You have to really work hard and work your way up, but you're starting to see more of the Ole Miss presence on these tours. And obviously Jackson Suber had a heck of a year. It's Liv, and you guys know how I feel about Liv if you listen every day. But, Lasasso just won, and you're starting to see that start to bubble up, and Ole Miss is going to continue to add a presence at the professional level. And, Suber's going to break through soon. He's so close. He is so close. Got to get that putting better, but he's so close. Let's talk about lawyers and TROs. Absolutely, yes, let's do it. It sounds so much fun. Very late, but wanted to stop by real quick. Sure, you're covering all the bases of the drama. Not really. I don't really want to talk about it. It's just eye roll stuff. That's what it is. You just roll your eyes at it. This close to the season, choosing to cause such a distraction is, it's funny is what it is. I think they will beat Clemson, but God, what do you think the reaction is going to be if they don't? You know what I mean? Legal costs are going up exponentially. Oh, they are, but the league does have money. They got a lot of that. They're able to defend themselves, at least financially. Feel like Sankey is at his boiling point, right? I would imagine that this is not going to be taken laying down. And I mean, think about this. Oh, okay. I don't know if the state of Mississippi is going to get involved or not, but if I was a mega booster at Mississippi State and Mississippi State has determined that Manning and Silla, the two guys that played for State last year, got mini camp invites, but did not make the 90-man roster because of the league's new order that has been communicated to Mississippi State that these guys are not able to play. And Mississippi State is accepting of the league's decision because Mississippi State voted in favor of the SEC rule. So they tried, the league said no, and Mississippi State, to their credit, I know you guys don't want to hear me crediting Mississippi State, but to their credit, after the league passed the rule, it was communicated to them, hey, these guys don't fit the criteria. They signed something, I guess, and they violate the new league rule that Mark Keenum voted for. Mississippi State said, okay, I understand. We voted for it. Sorry, guys. We wish you the best. We'll support you, but you can't play. We voted for that. If you're the Attorney General of the state of Mississippi right now, or excuse me, if you're a mega booster at Mississippi State right now, are you not in the ear of the Attorney General of the state of Mississippi? Are you not communicating to Mark Keenum, to Zach Selman, you better fight this? Because if we being Mississippi State, if we can't play these guys that didn't make 90-man rosters, neither one of them got invited to real training camp, can't play, but a team that we're playing this season is going to have 4, 5 more of these former NFL players on it, you're not going to let that happen, right? Does that not make sense? Is that not logical thought process from the Mississippi State perspective? Because that's how I would feel if I were somebody funding that program or a stakeholder in that program. If I'm Zach Selman, I don't need a booster to tell me that I'm in Birmingham today. Commissioner Sankey, what do I need to do? Because my guys aren't playing. I'm following your rules. We're not suing. My guys aren't playing. What do I need to do? Hey, Attorney General of the state of Mississippi, we saw this happen in the Big 12. Help me out here. If I'm Keith Carter, Ole Miss is not presently trying to roster one of those players, but I would support Mississippi State in that. Would you not? If I were in the state of Alabama, would you not also be having the same conversations? Hold on, Commissioner. You helped stop Betty Yako from playing here. We're not actively trying to hold you in contempt of court. What do you need? Hey, I'll call up my booster who's a donor to the Attorney General of the state of Alabama. Let me see what they have to say about this. That's the can of worms that you open when you do this. And if I were Mississippi State, I would not take that lying down. I would make sure that the SEC has legal help from the state of Mississippi if they need it. Because anybody can get a local TRO for all kinds of things. So we'll see. We'll see. Is there a place where LSU's kicked out of the conference? No, I don't think so. Say it's not over, but you think the players will get their TROs and play in these early games, just run out the clock is the Chambliss strategy. But here's the thing. Don't you think the SEC's not also going to go find a place to get something of their own? When we start hearing Bama fans start calling for Nick Saban to be the new SEC commissioner, Nick Saban, the guy that praises Lane Kiffin at every turn? I don't think so. Scone said at least half the SEC teams want NFL players back. He said the vote was not the real sentiment of the room per his inside source. Doesn't matter what the sentiment is. What was the vote? Doesn't matter. I'm sure, yes, I'm sure every single coach in the SEC would love to get better players on their roster right now. But what was the vote? What did they actually put down when push came to shove? What did they actually agree to? And also, I'm sure LSU knows exactly how the rest of the room feels. For sure. The quote about the SEC doing cartel-like behavior was hilarious, especially in that state, man. Are you going to look at the lunar eclipse tonight? There's a lunar eclipse tonight? Yeah, I'll go outside and look. I'll go let the dog out and go look. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. LSU must not be that good if they're fighting this so hard. I go back and forth on what I think this means from their perspective. Because I don't think it's as simple as, oh, we're just trying to improve our roster. No, I don't think it's that simple. It's either because they keep mentioning Trinidad. So it's either related to that to whatever degree, or the roster's not good enough, worried about not being able to win enough games, going to extreme lengths to try to do whatever you can to get better. Because the rest of the SEC agreed to this. Even if they were holding their nose when the vote or they weren't really comfortable with it. Does anybody else in the SEC have that graphic out there right now of, well, this player, if he gets cuts, coming back? I don't know. I truly don't know. This may have been asked elsewhere, but is there a way to have the Mississippi court ruled them ineligible due to debt owed? I have no idea. I mean, you don't want to get in. You don't want to get into those weeds, though. You don't want to do that. The contract already heavily favors Ole Miss anyway. That they, because that then I think would just steer into the depths of great corruption. You don't want to get involved in that. I mean, you look at how this projects from the outside looking in. You don't want to get down into the mud with a pig, and start rolling around. And I think that's what that would be. And problem you see with the new SEC rules are they're arbitrary and inconsistent. For example, if you declare for the draft, you are banned. If you go to a rookie minicamp, you are okay. Well, as we've learned, though, Mississippi State can't play those two guys that did it. So maybe that wasn't interpreted the right way. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know here other than just the aforementioned eye rolling. Louisville is one of the best teams in the ACC, probably should be ranked higher than 24. They beat Miami last year. Yes, the players are filing the lawsuits, but who's backing the players from doing it? I mean, it was reported from John Talty, who's, I have no idea. We already know now that there's a book coming out about Kiffin. I don't have the slightest clue what's inside of it. But I can't imagine people from the state of Louisiana are going to love it because if you're going to tell the story the right way, and I kind of think that he will, you have to tell a dark side too. And so, he's probably not going to be a popular figure in that state. I don't know, though. It could be a fluff piece. I have no idea, but I have not seen it, nor have I gotten an advanced copy if one exists. But anyway, point being, they already did report that this was orchestrated. This has the full backing of LSU. It does, clearly. I mean, you saw the governor's statement. What was it, yesterday? They are clearly absolutely behind in supporting this. The implication that the players are acting on their own, maybe from a legal sense, sure, but who is supporting them? How in the hell is State ranked in the top 20 and top 25 talent pool? Well, So one, I mean, they recruit, generally speaking, around the top 30 every year. And I mean, I think if you're looking at the talent composite, Trinidad Chambliss, if you're going on recruiting profiles, what was he, a 2-star transfer, 3-star transfer? So do I see a few trick plays incorporated with the offense? Trick plays, sure. What I don't like are gimmicks. That's what bothers me. Gimmicks get you beat, right? Lining up Robert Kimdichie at running back. That is a gimmick. That gets you beat. But a trick play, sure, why not? In a high school game last Friday night, I saw a fake punt. It was perfectly executed too. Love to see stuff like that. But no, I'm sure you will. But I think that having a good defense as well should allow them to not feel the need to take unnecessary risks. I don't think you're going to see as many, if they're as good as they think that they are defensively. You're not going to see as much going forward on fourth down deep in your own territory in the second half of a game in which you have a lead. That kind of stuff, I don't think will happen as much this season. Maybe I'm wrong. With these court cases, the appeals are from the players. The schools are the ones who will be punished. The players can play, but the school will pay the price. What am I missing? Well, this new Texas thing, the judge has declared that the SEC can enforce its own rules and all that. But again, this is just going to go higher. This will not stop in these local courts. But that's how. I mean, honestly, I guess this is good for content, but I'm so sick of it. We are so close to actual football. I can't believe that this has become a story this close to actual football. And the willingness to add players to your roster a couple days before the season begins is a fascinating decision. It's one thing to have a guy that, again, did not operate in a training camp, was just kind of floating out there, but it's this stuff's exhausting, and the discourse is exhausting, and I don't know when the people at LSU specifically, and they want to pretend like they don't understand why it's being made more about them, but that's fine. They can pretend like they that they're victimized or whatever. But I wonder when the juice will not be worth the squeeze. The expression juice, not the dog that was abandoned. I do wonder when, though, it will stop being worth all of this. They clearly don't care about the public relations side of it, but they're getting killed in the court of public opinion on this. Just absolutely killed. For whatever it's worth, Tom Mars is, which that guy doesn't lose college stuff. I mean, you Ole Miss fans have seen Tom Mars against you and on your side, and he won both of them. He doesn't lose in this, and he is just kind of laughing about what has gone on today and implying that the SEC has a plethora of options, all of which better than what they're up against at the moment. And I would tend to believe him considering his track record in college sports situations, but maybe he's wrong. I don't know. I'm so glad that there will be actual football games soon. I just can't believe that this drama is felt to be worth it. You're a week before games, and you're doing these interviews defending yourself on multiple media platforms. You're dealing with lawsuits. You're having a lawyer say that the commissioner of the league is going to be held in contempt of court. I mean, you're doing all this stuff when you've got a season to prepare for, and however much time. I just can't believe that they've decided that this is all worth it. I can't believe that they've come to that conclusion, because it's not going to be as clean as, well, judge said this, boom, done. You can play. Sorry, Greg, you're going to jail, and these guys are going to play. And no, it will never be that simple. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I know everybody in the college football world is talking about it. So we have to on the radio show. You guys, nobody can get enough of this because it's truly bizarre. I'm tired of it. Just can't believe they've chosen that route. Somebody's got to be an adult in the room in Louisiana to get the lawyer to stop talking about contempt of court with Greg Sankey, though. That would be something that I would really put a stop to as fast as I possibly could. Week 0 picks. The Fighting Bill Belichick's girlfriends are going to lose, and they're not going to cover either. I think Dan Mullen is going to beat Charles Huff in the playoff eliminator on Saturday night, and they will be the favorite to make the playoff from the group of 6. I really like NC State to beat Virginia on the road on Saturday afternoon. So there's a few, I guess, but you're right. It's crazy that this is the main conversation 2 days before games are being played. And these are compelling games. Again, Bill Belichick and TCU in Dublin. Top 15 USC's playing at 2. NC State, Virginia are playing each other in Charlottesville. North Dakota State's first game as an FBS team. Hawaii Stanford's at least got a little bit of juice. And Memphis UNLV could be a playoff eliminator. Like, that's legitimately fun. Does Bill Belichick make it through the season? I mean, he might, but we'll see. I mean, things get weird over in Dublin. Northwestern won a game over there and then came back to the States and lost all 11 of their games played in the United States. So who knows? Maybe he gets a win on Saturday. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Sorry that this is the topic, but maybe one day we'll get to, just talk about football. Hopefully so, but the lawsuits keep popping up, and I can't get over it. A lawyer representing what is attempting to be an LSU football player talked about not throwing the commissioner in jail, but holding the commissioner in contempt of court. That was a thing that happened today. And you've got people that look at that and are like, yes, that's the right thing to do. Bizarre. I will go look at that. I'll let the dog out and I'll go look at that eclipse. Although I think it's cloudy here. It was cloudy on the way home. Everyone's making threats now. Not 15 of the 16 teams in the SEC. They are not making those threats against the commissioner. No, not everyone is making those threats. No, that's coming from one place. Only one place has the governor involved. Only one place has the coach defending himself on multiple different media outlets yesterday and today. That's only one place. Everybody else voted to stop this. Literally everybody else. Except for one place. That's why it's you that gets talked about. You're the one that's doing the most talking. Operate more in silence, I guess, would be my advice. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you on the next one on Sunday night. We'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.